Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use, and today we're just gonna kind of go over the stuff that I'm gonna be bringing into PoE first, as that seems like a good thing to go over, maybe give you guys some ideas of maybe what you want to start with in PoE. So, first and foremost, as you might imagine if you've been around on the channel for a while, I'm going to be bringing Mesa first into PoE, as Mesa is my favorite Warframe. This should not really come as a big surprise, although I think Mesa does have some unique advantages beyond other Warframes, those mainly being that her Peacemaker does amazing damage in a 50-meter area. 50 meters is a really, really respectable range, especially for a damage dealing ability, and I think that is going to really shine when we actually have the room to utilize that, where if you get up on like a decent sized hill overlooking like a Grineer base, you can just shoot everyone in the base. There are going to be a lot of Warframes that are not going to have that luxury, and I think it's going to be a very good time doing that stuff with Mesa. Along with that, at range, having the defensive capabilities of Shatter Shield. Shatter Shield, even on the build that I'm using right now, is giving me more EHP than Inaros, provided I'm not hit by AoEs, which are fairly easily avoidable in most cases. So I am incredibly tough with this build, and can push out an incredible amount of damage in a pretty good area. So I think this is going to end up being very useful. And specifically because we are fighting Grineer in PoE, it seems for the most part, I'm going to be bringing this Sicarus Prime with this build, which is very anti-Grineer, a lot of corrosive damage to get rid of all that pesky armor. And I kind of wanted to show off how good it's going to be against some Grineer that we're probably not going to see, let's say. It is worth noting, however, that I think for PoE I am going to be testing the sniper changes, so I'm probably not going to be bringing the Vacor Heck, which is a weapon I like a whole lot. And as for melee, I will probably be building my own melee and testing out that stuff. So the only thing that's probably going to stick around in this build is probably going to be my secondary for Mesa, as you need that. And then Helios, of course, for scanning all the new things. But let's just show off kind of what Mesa can do, I suppose. Mesa does a lot of damage, as it turns out. Mesa is not easily intimidated. She's very good at eliminating enemies. And these enemies are level 150 Grineer, with a lot of armor. But that ends up not mattering that much, because Mesa. Yeah. And then, of course, the what I did not mention, the CC on her, too, is very useful at close range. But yeah, this amount of damage and this amount of proc and corrosive is very good at getting through Grineer armor, and I think it's going to end up being quite useful in the plains. Beyond that, the thing that I think a lot of people are maybe overlooking for PoE is that speed is going to be very important. This is a very large area, and there is undoubtedly going to be a lot of areas that you need to get to very quickly. For that purpose, I've actually changed up a build on Nova to kind of suit the needs that I think I'm going to have in PoE, and this may get tweaked a little bit as time goes on with us like knowing PoE. But this is what I'm going to start with. This is a build that is a lot like my normal build for Nova. A lot like it, but with more range. And the more range is specifically because I think Wormhole is going to be an invaluable asset. In that, being able to go 45 meters per cast means that Nova is impossibly fast. Like, 45 meters per cast means that given, like, a decent chunk of energy, like, if you're on full energy with this build on Nova, you're gone. Like, there's no, like, Volt's not catching up to you, Nezha's not even, like, in your ballpark. You can't be outraced. Like, if you need to get somewhere right now, you're gonna be there right now. There's no acceleration, you teleported. And I think that's going to be incredibly valuable for like the random like planes alert system whenever something you like, hey, this is 400 meters away. Oh, good. Boom, I'm there. I think that's going to be very valuable for farming stuff in the plains very quickly, as I think travel is going to be a big part of that. Unfortunately, there's currently a bug in the simulacrum, so that makes it so that Wormhole deactivates if I cast it too far out into the void of nothingness. So I can only like show the one distance of this, but it goes from like here to like halfway across this, which is very far. And you can chain these in normal missions, but you can't do it in, because yeah, The Simulacrum bugs it out, which is an unfortunate bug right now that hopefully gets fixed. But usually you can just aim glide and just teleport, and go very, very quickly. So I think that's going to be incredibly useful, and if you tune in for the stream that I will inevitably be doing for PoE, you're probably going to see a lot of how that's done and how fast you can get around. Because mind you, doing those 3 casts in a row would be traveling, like, that's a lot. That's a lot of distance. That's like almost 200 meters that you're going to be going, like, between getting up off the ground and casting that 3 times. So for about 50 to 60 energy, being wherever you need to be, pretty valuable. And given the gigantic energy pool of Nova, I think you're going to be able to do that pretty often. So yeah, that's and that's not even given like all the other advantages of Nova, which is your like mass crowd control, your incredibly powerful setup with the Tiger's Prime, utilizing this to just nuke areas. All very, very good things. Oh, and the recently discovered damage reduction from her 1. Yeah, for those of you that do not know, each orb that you have on Nova, which is up to a maximum of, I believe, 16, gives you 5% damage reduction. So whenever you are playing Nova, just hit 1 just for the damage reduction it gives you, as that's quite useful. That was a recently discovered oddity with Nova that DE never documented. So there's that as well. So she'll be quite survivable. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to go over some maybe interesting things for people to consider for PoE. I hope this was enjoyable for you guys, and I will see you, well, hopefully tonight I will be streaming, but otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Later, everyone.